Hi there, I'm Tanya from Lovely Greens, and I'm a gardening and beauty DIY blogger over on lovelygreens.com. And I'm also a soap maker. So here on the Isle of Man, I offer in-person soap making lessons, and on my blog I also have loads of resources on how to make handmade soap. And that's what I'm going to show you today in this video. I'm going to show you how to make this recipe, and this is a natural, palm oil-free lemongrass soap. So it's naturally colored green, and it's scented with essential oil. So continue on with the video. If you have any questions whatsoever, leave them in the comments below. And there's also a link down in the description as to where you can find the recipe on my blog, and you can order ingredients directly online through there. And there's also quite a bit more information over there as well. So leave me a comment, as I said below. Let me know what you think, and happy soaping. The ingredients that we'll be using for this recipe include sodium hydroxide, which is also known as lye, water, coconut oil, shea butter, olive oil, castor oil, 2 types of natural mineral pigment, grapefruit seed extract, and lemongrass essential oil. A lot of the equipment that you'll need for soap making might already be in your kitchen. They include a stainless steel pan, a heat-proof jug for the lye water, a stick blender, digital thermometer, milk frother, soap mold, a rubber spatula, metal spoon, a small sieve, measuring spoons, and then to insulate your soap, you'll need a cardboard box and an old towel. Now, before we begin, it's safety first. We're going to be handling lye, so you need to be wearing goggles, keep your hair tied back, and also wear gloves. If you have an allergy to latex, wear vinyl. To begin with, you need to get your setup totally prepared. Have all of your equipment ready, and then pre-measure all of your ingredients. So all your solid oils into the pan, your liquid oils into a jug, everything set out and ready to go. And then the first step is actually making your colored oil. Pour a little bit of your liquid oil into a glass, put your mineral powder in, and then with a milk frother, blend them together. When your colored oil is mixed, it's time to make your lye solution. You should be very careful at this stage to make sure your goggles and gloves are on, and then just pour all the lye crystals into the jug of water and stir until it's dissolved. There'll be steam, the jug will get quite warm, so be very careful. When it's all dissolved, set the jug into a basin of water so it can cool down. While the lye water is cooling, it's time to melt your solid oils. So these are your coconut oil and shea butter. Put your hob on the lowest setting and then move the oils around in the pan until they melt. When there's only a few pieces floating around in the pan, take the pan off the heat, turn off the hob, and then stir until it's completely melted. Next, you're going to pour the liquid oils into the pan. Make sure to run them through the sieve just to make sure that there's no little pieces of anything that have fallen in the oil and will get into your soap. The castor oil is very sticky, so make sure that you scrape that out of the jug. Next, put the colored oil in through the sieve as well. That sieve will help stop any little pieces of mineral color from getting into your soap and leaving little specks of color. Stir the oils together with a spatula, and then take the temperature of the oil with a digital thermometer. You're aiming for your oils to be between 110 and 130 degrees Fahrenheit. Your lye water should be within 10 degrees of that temperature as well, and preferably on the lower side. When the temperatures are right, pour your lye water through the sieve and into the oils. The next step is going to be blending it all together. So set your jug and sieve aside, and then grab your immersion blender. Put it in at an angle so that you can reduce the air in the head. Use it like a spoon at first, and stir your pot of oils and lye together. Bring that stick blender to the center of your pan, stationary, flat on the bottom, and pulse. After a couple seconds, stir again. Stir it together so that it's completely mixed before you start pulsing again. You're going to continue this process of pulsing and stirring until your soap hits trace. You will know trace when it happens because your soap batter will thicken until the consistency of custard, And when you lift that stick blender up out of the oils, it'll leave a trace on the top. It'll thicken up. Right now it's still liquidy. It's starting to get a little bit thicker. There it is, trace. Once trace happens, you have to work quickly. Otherwise it'll start firming up and you won't be able to get out of the pan. So moving quickly, put the grapefruit seed extract and the essential oil into the pan and then stir it all together very well. If you don't incorporate all of the essential oil, then you'll leave streaks through your soap. So keep stirring until you can see nothing. You'll notice that the soap starts thickening up even more once you add the essential oil. Some essential oils, and especially fragrance oils, make your soap get hard very quickly. When you're sure that they're all mixed together, pour your soap into your mold. You can use a silica mold like I'm using, or an empty milk carton container, yogurt pots, or other purpose-made molds. When the soap's all in the mold, shake and tap the mold just to settle the soap inside. Wipe the edges to clear them, and then you can use your spatula to create a different texture on the top if you wish. You can leave it completely natural or just add a gentle little swish to it. Once the soap is in the mold, you need to put it someplace for it to harden up. The best place I find is in a cardboard box. Gently slide it inside, close up the box as best you can. Any kind of air or draft that gets in will actually cause the soap to cool quicker, and you don't want that. Slower cooling means that the color will be more consistent and more vibrant. Pop a towel over the top, and that will help with insulation as well. After a full day has passed, you're safe to take the soap out of the box, pop it out of the mold, and set it up. It will be room temperature by now. It'll be the consistency of cheddar, so it'll be easy to slice, and it should pop straight out of that silicone mold. You shouldn't have to put any hardening agents into this recipe. It's good enough without it. Now, as far as cutting up your soap, you can use an ordinary kitchen knife. You can use a metal wire, just anything that you have on hand. And if you want to cut your bars into consistent shapes and sizes, you could use a miter box or some other way, even like a ruler, to measure out your bars and then slice them. Saying that, you could just go for the rustic look and chop it up any way that you wish. Now comes the hard part, the waiting game. So you remember all of the water that we put into our soap? We're going to have to let all of our bars cure to allow that water to evaporate out. So place your bars on greaseproof paper, somewhere that's out of direct sunlight and in a drafty, airy place, and then put another layer over the top to exclude dust. Leave them there for a month, and at the end of 4 weeks, they're ready to be used. The suds on these bars are beautiful, light and fluffy, and all of that shea butter that we incorporated into the bars leaves your bars feeling really conditioning, really soft, and your skin feels great after washing with them. Thanks so much for watching this soap making tutorial. If you have any questions, leave them below. And also head over to my blog, lovelygreens.com. I have a lot of resources over there for natural soap making, including guidance on naturally coloring your soap, how to use essential oils in your soap, and I also have a free 4-part series on natural soap making.